I should have had confetti go off. This is groups role-gated access. Yeah, we got groups. We've got email. We've got Stripe with the webhooks and the whatnot, and we even have obelisk. Hello, nordus-mocwyl here, the Nord bird. I am back after a long summer. I have been doing a lot of experimentation, as everybody else I know in the Urbit space has been doing their own AI projects, and maybe at some point I will show off what I've been doing. But something I think a lot more exciting and legitimate are these 3 apps. So recently, Hawk was able to bring out an upgrade, a very serious upgrade. I'm going to show you that. And then Grubbery is a new app that has a lot of big potential to change user space and how people kind of play jazz with their Urbit in a way. And then Obelisk. Obelisk is not new by any means, but it is ready. This is the first time it's had a desk, and it is ready for people to use. It is a relational database on Urbit with some really cool things. I don't expect you to totally understand all that. I just wanted to give that little recap. To give you some context, let me tell you what I have, and we're going to go back to Hawk. So old Hawk from before, is a really great personal website builder and server. And so I was able to create and host from my Urbit my own website that promotes a guitar course that I have, and it's just able to do all the usual kind of goodness, and it's just nice that it's all mine. And that's really great. The tough part is really everything that the upgrade makes more possible. So this is kind of the fake version of what it needed to be, and I'll give you an example of that. So I have ways to purchase. There's a Stripe link here that you can go out to and buy the course, or this is completely manual. Or we could do a crypto option, which is you got to email me the transaction and all that stuff. But it's all kind of fake. So what happens is after the purchase comes in, the only integration that there is Stripe will redirect you to this page, and this page is just a secret URL. There's no gating, there's no access control. You just have to be able to guess the right URL and get in. So this is it's just fake, and it was the best that I could do given what Urbit's capabilities were, what Hawk's capabilities were at the time. And yeah, along with these, it's still nice. It's still very lovely. Working with Hawk is great. I even have comments, and so at the end of each of these pages, you can write up a little comment. And then that's kind of as far as that went. So that's what is in this kind of fake secret URL that you get at the purchase redirect is kind of. I think it's a little bit disappointing. I think it's not right, and it's not necessarily about people stealing or cheating or sharing it. It's more what we have with the Urbit is just not fully fleshed out. And so I will introduce now with the upgrades to Hawk. Now this is actually completely possible. So we have here just a little mock-up. Hawk has upgraded from Hawk 500 to Hawk 499, and with that we now can gate things. So a little view here is if you're logged into your Urbit, it will understand who you are, and it can determine whether or not you have access. So this page is a little mock-up of a potential lesson page, and it completely gates access. It double checks, hey, does this Urbit ship, does Fogduck nordus-mocwyl have access? If it does, then all this will work, and we will totally see that happen. If you're not viewing as yourself, if you're something else, you can log in with your Urbit and then get access or see if you have access. If you don't, you can get an email code sent to you because we've set it up all nice. So let me just show you how that process works, because it's gonna happen in real time here. So I'll have an actually gated thing. So over here, I've got a copy of this page, and we're gonna watch it change as I go through the process. So I'm gonna try to get access, and I'm gonna try to get access for Fogduck. we're going to go through a fake Stripe checkout, but it goes through all their real credential stuff. It already knows my info, so I'm going to pay. This page, Stripe will... All right, okay, so Stripe is going to redirect me over here, but you can already see over here to the left, this one has decided I have access, and this one over here redirected us to the same page where we have access. That's neat. To make that happen, Stripe is sending a webhook. So these are the endpoints that I've created. So I have an endpoint that says Stripe webhook. That page knows, like it checks the signature of the Stripe webhook and it sees that it's complete. It sees that the Urbit ship is attached to the whole situation and it grants access. And it grants access by, it holds its own little list, but the fun part is access is actually controlled over here in groups. So not only are we connected with Stripe, we're also connected into groups. So over here in the lessons, like this pulls in one of these group chat messages and let's see it. Oh man. There we go. So we have this this connection back and forth that is a real integration with the Groups app. Like it's not like a fake thing. It's properly speaking to the Groups app. Let's see. I'll back up from there. But the gating is actually kind of controlled by when anybody comes in, they'll become a member of the course and they'll be given. Hawk itself will give this beta tester role. And the way that it should work is, oh, if this guy's messed up, I don't want him to have the role anymore. I say the beta tester role, but that's the role that grants access. And so now we are not in access because all I had to do is change a role. So this is actually, I should have had confetti go off. This is groups role gated access. So at any given moment, I can grant or remove access to any Urbit ship based off of a role that we have in our group. This is something I've wanted to do for a very long time, and it's very satisfying that that's finally in place. Yeah, so we have Stripe integration, we have groups integration, and we also have emails. So now using a transactional email server like Postmark, when the purchase comes in, it comes with that email. Like I entered an email into the Stripe buy page. When that came in, well, now we've got like an instant transactional email where you can go to the lessons and whatnot. But the big thing is really that you get to, like, say you're opening up in a brand new browser and you want to get access back to this. Well, it'd be a matter of signing in. You can sign in as your Urbit, and that would give you access. Or you can come in here and unlock it with an email code. So we can put in the code we used at payment. We can request a code to be sent. Come back, and now we've got and now we have access. I'm signed in as a different comment, and it tells me that I could get an ID to make it, an Urbit ID to make it better, but we have access based off of our email. So now, this is another big deal because you don't have to have an Urbit. I get to serve this course, and you can just have an email, make a purchase. I can check that that's your email. You can still chat as this guest comment identity and still get access to everything regardless of what browser you're using or anything like that, using the transactional email with the code and all that. That's a really big deal. That's kind of just standard normie stuff, and it's still gated access. This comment identity on this browser will last a week. So if they don't change browsers or they don't... if they don't change browsers or whatnot, like they can come back to this browser again and again over an entire week and still see the course and talk as who they are. Maybe we could tie their name to something, but obviously that's not as great as getting an Urbit ID, so you could have multiple moments where you kind of push them towards that. Right, so final integration is we have obelisk over here. So I was going to talk about obelisk. Okay, so now we also have obelisk over here. Obelisk is a relational database, and it's probably one of the most serious Urbit projects, period, in the end, made by Jack Fox. This thing he's been working on it for quite a while, and just like it's ready. It is ready for people to use. So I knew about obelisk, and I am in awe of the project. I've respected it for a long time, but I didn't think I had a use case for it. I thought I would need like hundreds of customers or something. But in really trying to set up this kind of like, oh, who paid and when did they? Do they have an email or a ship? Have I given them access or not given them access? That stuff got like real kind of nasty. I'll show you again over here. So all that kind of metadata and information are stored here in this kind of ledger. And so this is how Claude and I were making it come together. Like, this is how we were going to handle this. A bunch of paths about paid ships and when and what the status is. And this is not a great experience, not great. And there wasn't really an alternative that was a good idea. So we ended up integrating and figuring out how to poke obelisk, which is like not a big deal in Hawk. Hawk is ready for this. Just like with groups, obelisk can get sent stuff. Oh. Hey, baby, you okay? Pause for baby. All right. Okay, so I had all that big mess of just not the right way to hold data. And just so happens obelisk is ready, and it's the right way to have these things all connected together. So now when a purchase comes in, we poke obelisk here, and for you to kind of see what's happened. So Hawk has created this database, and inside here we have some tables, member and purchase. And so we can pull up any of these things, and what it looks like is, here, I'll type it so it's all clear. So we're trying to work from the guitar database, especially the table member. And what I want to see, I want to select ship. See it here. Ship is always going to be a nice unique key. We can look at the status of that ship and source. Not really sure what source is. So we're going to run it. I'm going to result down here. Oh, right. Because I populate. So the source is what I populated it with. Backfill or purchase. So Fogduck recently made a purchase, and they are active. Revoke the role. Oh. Come in here. We go ship. Okay. So now that we've revoked Fogduck's access, boom, we see it in the database. And so we can search these things. We can figure out what's wrong. Somebody contacts, customer service, aka me. They're like, hey, I think I got in, and then I can check things. Cool. Well, I'm back. I'm back from baby duty. We're here from this part of the video is brought to you by baby's second nap. So I was going on about obelisk and how Hawk can poke it, and we can save all this kind of good data that is going to be useful to like operating the access control and who can do what and when did they pay and all kinds of stuff. So while I didn't immediately think that I would need obelisk, it became pretty obvious as I was trying to get the data that's like, this is the proper form for it, is the proper place for it, and I'm very grateful for obelisk. Now, I want to show you, so we talked about obelisk, we talked about Hawk and its updates. I'd mentioned Grubbery at the front, and Grubbery is very interesting. It's a completely different way of doing apps and even distributing that. It's like this is like a totally different layer that goes very deep, and it's very well thought out. It allows for moving quickly, figuring things out, and if you click on it, you kind of have like a landscape-like thing, and it's filled with all kinds of examples of what it's capable of. Generally, when I'm mentally thinking about Grubbery, I'm actually seeing this kind of file system. So it's a very well, you know, Grubbery's like it's shrubbery, but you know, down in the dirt, and you can kind of put all kinds of things in here. I'm really not gonna do a full demo. You're gonna have to talk to niblyx-malnus on that one, but you can put all sorts of files and build kind of whatever you want. So without going like too deep into it, I bring up shrubbery because shrubbery is in complete parity with Hawk, or at least these experiments that I've been doing with Stripe and emails and connections with groups and obelisk are in complete parity. So I'm going to show you that Grubbery here is sharing, although it doesn't have like a bunch of like mocked up stuff. This is its own kind of like fake test of it, you know, like have its own version of the guitar course. I guess to say Grubbery and Hawk can do the same kinds of things, serve web pages, run code, talk to other parts of your Urbit. So I wanted to kind of A/B test. I wanted to see which one was capable of doing what I wanted and which one was the best to kind of work with. And my conclusion is definitely like they are distinct and they're both really good and they're both just different approaches. But they are both capable of doing exactly what I wanted. So pretend that this is the guitar lessons. This is a connection to the Talon group. We can say, let's pull up groups so it's even more exciting. There you go, grub. And yeah, I can go through the whole process again. So it also is like this very convenient revoke access, pay with Stripe. It's all saved still. We'll do a payment. Let's see if we can watch the, oh, hey, Ramen Tatsuya. Hey, there it is. Here I got this guy. Thanks for joining guitar.box. Verify your email. Verify the email. Oh, here we go. Your payment is recorded from this browser. Continue to the introduction lesson. There we go. The same access. So yeah, we got groups. We've got email. We've got Stripe with the webhooks and the whatnot, and we even have obelisk. Obelisk over here. This is guitar.box. We can see information from Grubbery's connection to obelisk. So I'm excited for Grubbery and what can be done with its systems and stuff. I put codecs on Grubbery, and we were able to get those integrations in a surprisingly painless way, especially with a smart enough model. And I was able to get it done in Grubbery first. It's kind of a lot of this file is doing all that logic. We were able to create it in Grubbery first, and then I was able to then move on to like Hawk and getting Hawk ready for all this. And that is what I have been doing. So I'm really excited to upgrade. I do not like that this is just a secret URL, that it's just, let's hope nobody guesses it, let's hope nobody shares it. Like that's just really silly. And I knew that, and it was the best that I could do. But now we have all these like great new tools. Hawk's upgrade, Grubbery coming out with its stuff, and even like Obelisk for some really practical business things. So it's like this is a big moment. Urbit just got really practical. I get to have a web server, and it's money. I'm hoping to do crypto. That's some real sovereignty tier right there. Yeah, it's serving it from my Urbit. I'm taking payments, sending out the emails, which, you know, I'm not doing directly, but it's like it's hooked up into all these things to be practical. And it's not just for Urbit people, it's for anybody with an email and wants to pay with a card. Like it's legit. It is a legit time. I think right now we've had, we've had like a summer of the people who are still around and sticking around to dream up stuff, to use AI to like go into their own basements and figure something out. And I think like this is some of the results that have come out, and it's very exciting. It's very practical. It's very real, very tangible. And so I just had to share that because it was just a lot of long-awaited dreams coming true for me, that I get to have legitimate access control, and like people get to actually log in as their Urbits and pay and go right there. It's good stuff. Good stuff. I'm excited for it, and I just wanted to share that. Okay, Nord bird out. I'm gonna get this little, need to put this little chick down for another nap. I've been holding her. Okay, see you guys in the next one. I have some of my own things to share, but we'll see. Okay, bye.